Wondered what it's like to step into someone else's world? Well, that's what you're about to do. Welcome to my haven, my safe place, a place where time dances to the rhythm of childhood memories. You see, this room, it's not just four walls and a ceiling, it's a time capsule, bursting at the seams with memories. Every nook and cranny is just holding stories of laughter and secrets, as if the walls themselves were eager to tell the stories of adventure. I shared this room with my sister Kate when we were kids, and she's coming home today. It has been so long. I haven't seen her since her graduation last year. I know, it's bad. But it's going to be the reunion of a lifetime. She's been my best friend since day one. And she's a year older than me, which of course she rubs in my face anytime she can. But let me paint you a picture. Imagine a Saturday morning, the sun is peeking through the curtains, casting a faint warm glow on the adventures which are about to unfold. Oh, and this bed, it has seen some epic sleepovers, diving into the wildest of stories, pillow fights to save the princess, fueled by imagination and the promise of endless possibilities. And just so much laughter and dreams, and just enjoy the simplicity of childhood and the sound of our footprints as we danced our way through each and every imaginary world. So here you are, stepping into my world, the world of Zoe, that's me, where every corner whispers a tale, every memory is a treasure. Just feel the magic and let the journey through my childhood full of little moments and those in it that shaped who I am. Now, at 22, I've gone through a lot of changes. And looking back, I am grateful for a lot of them, but you know that really heavy pitted feeling in the bottom of your stomach, like your stomach's twisting and turning and you're about to throw up? Well, I get that anytime there's the tiniest amount of change in my life, big or small. No, I'm not one that you would say is one to go with the flow, you know? For example, take school, right? Every year it's the same. New teachers, new classroom, new classmates. And every year I freak out about it because of the unknown, because there's nothing you can do about the unknown. Anyway, you know who was always there to help me through it? My best friend and sister, Kate. She was and always has been my rock, my steady hand in the chaos of it all. From holding my hand on the first day of primary school to helping me move into my first year uni accommodation. No matter how insignificant others saw my changes as, I thought they were big, and Kate has always been ready to dive into that unknown with me. I guess because she's a year older than me, those unknown, she kind of knew the unknown. It sounds stupid, but she just knew exactly how I was feeling. and that just helped. My graduation is next year and I am terrified. It's a bigger change than any other I've ever had in my life, but hopefully we can dive into this unknown just as confidently and calmly as we have all the others. But hey, life's funny like that, right? No matter how hard we try to escape it, change will always find a way to catch up with us. And maybe, just maybe, change can often be a very good thing. Maybe in those moments of uncertainty we find who we actually are and what we're made of. One thing to know about me is pretty much throughout my entire life I've had pets. I love them, they are amazing, and they love you indefinitely, and they don't judge you. They are always there. They're like humans, but just so much better. Like, so much better. So, I do think that's a really good place to learn a little bit more about me. Let me take you on a tour of the Zoo of Misfortune, known as my family's pet history. It seems that every pet that's ever entered my life has been on a death mission. Like, seriously. Now, I won't go through them all because we will be here a while, trust me. But I will tell you about some of the most memorable ones and their misfortunes. So, for this first tale, we have to go back to when I was 7. And when I was 7, I won a goldfish at the carnival. I was ecstatic. It came in this little bag, and granted it didn't look very fancy, but I begged and we went straight to the pet shop and picked up a brand new cute little tank with decorations and plenty of fish food. And we named him Goldie. As you can tell, I was a creative mind child. Goldie's life was going swimmingly, if you'll excuse the pun. But I mean it. He was just swimming around, getting fed, living the fishy life. Well, he was living the fishy life. Until one day I had what, as a 7-year-old, thought was a genius idea. I looked at his tank, it was quite a warm day, and I was like, your tank needs a clean. And 7-year-old me could do that on my own. So, as I was transferring little Goldie from his bowl to his temporary home, his slimy self slipped through my fingers and somehow managed to make his way under my bed. Obviously, I panicked. Little 7-year-old me started looking absolutely everywhere under the bed, but he just vanished. I could not find him. Well, I did eventually find him. He was just not looking as dapper as he was beforehand. So I'm there, I make my way downstairs with poor Goldie in hand, going sheepishly up to my dad. And now that I look back, I do not know how he kept a straight face as I asked what Goldie's funeral arrangements would be and who would be in attendance. Now, I'll say he did a really good job. He had a beautiful burial in our lovely plant pot. And what is a list of pet disasters without the classic hamster? I swear, everyone I know that's owned a hamster has told me about its death, which tends to occur in quite possibly the most chaotic and traumatic ways you've ever heard. Like, for example, one of my friends from primary school, David. His hamster died because him and his brother decided to play catch. Yep, that's right. David and his brother played catch with their hamster. I do wonder what he's up to nowadays. Hopefully nothing to do with animal care. No, luckily I'm not at fault for the death of a pet. Unlike David's hamster's sports day, our hamster was just unfortunate and honestly astonishing. Our hamster was called Chip. He was this cute little fur ball, and he was white with these brown little speckles on him, like a chocolate chip cookie, hence the name, again. Amazing child. Well, Chip was a very, very active hamster. He was always digging and climbing, and he especially loved that little exercise wheel thingy you put in their cage. Well, it was one warm evening, as usual. Chip stuffed his cheeks full of sunflower seeds, and he happily made his way over to his exercise wheel. Though this time, for some reason, and reasons I cannot fathom to this day, it was like he was going for a personal best, going faster than ever, just round and round. And yes, maybe we should have invested in a better quality wheel, because he just kept going and going, and as he sped up faster and faster, the wheel got so fast, it dislodged itself from the side of the cage and flew out of my bedroom window, with Chip still inside of it. Yeah, not ideal. Honestly, it all happened so quickly, and I always thought if it had been just a little bit cooler that day, that window wouldn't have been open, and maybe Chip could have walked away with some really cool diddy hamster crutches and some scars, rather than ending up next to Goldie in our flower pot. Now, you'd think that was the craziest of my pet stories, and now, this next one's a little bit wild of a ride. So, buckle up and let me tell you about our family dog, Cooper, our fearless furball, who certainly had a taste for pure chaos. Now, don't get me wrong, Cooper was my best friend growing up. He was this cute little Pomeranian, just a puffball of fur with a heart of gold and a brain of, well, let's say he wasn't exactly Einstein, but he heard all of my secrets, and he was the best cuddle buddy. Now, don't get me wrong, Sir Cooper certainly had his flaws due to his chaotic nature. He chewed up any of my soft toys the chance he got alone with them, and he would bark at anything that moved, and yeah, he might have been little, but that bark was mighty, loud enough to wake the dead. I mean, if you'd have heard it, you would have thought like a Doberman was going to come around the corner, not this scrappy little chap who is not aware of his insubstantial size. I think in Cooper's head he was an Alsatian. But his biggest flaw probably had to be his favourite hobby, which just so happened to be chasing cars. Like this one time. My dad got in his car to go to work, and he just made it off the driveway and started going down the road. And I was just sitting there, eating my Weetabix in my pyjamas, when Cooper just suddenly darts outside and starts chasing my dad's car down the road. He's sprinting faster and faster, and as my dad reaches the end of the road, he has to slow down for a give way sign. And Cooper sees his chance. He takes one last push, sprinting to catch up, and he leaps through the passenger side window. It was pretty impressive, to be honest. He looked rather smug sitting in my dad's passenger side riding shotgun. But, unfortunately, not every one of Cooper's chases was as successful as this. So, it was the summer just after I finished my GCSEs, and it was scorching hot. The kind of day where the pavement would have just been so hot you could fry an egg on it. Like, certainly not the sort of day for the usual walkies after school. Not that you could explain this to poor Cooper, who was not happy to be missing his regular walk, and especially missing out on the chance to go to his favourite place, the park. Now, in winter, the park was a place that Cooper tolerated for his business so he could pee on a lamppost. But in the summer, the park transformed for Cooper into a one-stop snack shop where there's treats and snacks have been spilt all over the pavement. But when in the winter, he would just go straight back home to the warmth and comfort of our lovely sofa, which, by the way, he wasn't allowed on, but that lasted a week. There was nothing Cooper loved more than stealing a lick from your 99 ice cream, with a flake, of course, when you were least expecting it. But for now, on this hot day, Cooper was stuck with us for company in our garden. He was lazing in the shade by the bushes, quite happily, or so we thought. And then suddenly, the sound of relief enters our ears, or at least at the time what we assumed to be the sound of relief. The sound of the local ice cream van playing its beautifully merry tune to let you know to go inside and beg your parents for money for ice cream. Now, clearly, Cooper didn't quite get the memo right, because as we ran inside to go get ice cream money, Cooper dashes through the gate and starts going after the ice cream truck like he was trying out for the Dog Olympics. His tail high in the air, wagging faster than a metronome on steroids, his tongue lolling out of his mouth and his eyes fixed on that prize. A delicious ice cream snatched from the hands of a small child. Now, you probably think you know where this is going. And technically you're wrong. Sort of. As Cooper's dashing towards his target with no cares in the world, and clearly no thoughts either, because as much as we tried to chase him and call him back, he just kept on running. And as the ice cream van turned the corner to stop at its usual pit stop, Cooper just continued his chase, galloping along. And as he crosses the street, a beige Mini Cooper, no, the irony was not lost on a single one of us, came barreling around the corner, driving straight into our four-legged friend. And just like that, Cooper's mission ended rather abruptly. His world was turned upside down in a split second. We race over to his side, and he looked more baffled than bruised, to be honest with you. But despite our hopes and the local vet's best efforts, Cooper crossed the Rainbow Bridge that day. But he did leave behind a legacy of awesome adventures and pure chaos. But I never thought at such a young age I'd deal with death. But I did, and hey, me and Kate went through our first experiences of grief together, and being together, that just, it made things that bit easier. Plus, I've heard they've got unlimited ice cream in heaven, so maybe Cooper got his goal after all. Now, speaking of death, we can all agree that romance is dead, right? I mean, don't even get me started on first dates. Now, I've been on my fair share of cringeworthy first dates, but I think the one that stuck with me the most was with Jake. Jake. Prince not so charming, as my sister Kate likes to call him. Now, picture me. I'm all dolled up in a brand new dress, which I bought for this date, by the way. All dolled up, butterflies in my stomach, ready for a night of romance and passion and love. And Jake rocked up. Jake. The absolute epitome of every cocky prick you've ever met. Oh, and 30 minutes late, might I add. Well, when he finally does arrive, you can see he's a walking red flag. I mean, You know, I don't really know how I expected this to end in true love. Delusion, obviously. But you know the type, slicked back hair and a suit that says, I'm clearly compensating for something. Yeah. Anyway, he struts in like he's auditioning for a Netflix teen rom-com, just like, and he's making that face. You know that face that guys make to try and make their jawline pop out, like, yeah, that one. Anyway, he struts over to me, giving me one of those nods of acknowledgement as he sits down and puts his arm around me. Yeah, my bad for being late, yeah, Chloe, innit? Great start. My mum was being bare annoying. She made me clean my room and shit before I came out. This man is 24. I just laugh a little uncomfortably and I'm like, it's all right. Anyway, so we go to our table and we're sat opposite each other. And here he is, man-spreading as he launches into his spiel. I'm talking lines less so cheesy and more cringy. Like, you are dead fit. You is almost as fit as my ex. And then he proceeds to show me a picture of his ex. She was gorgeous, so I'll give him that. And then he says, I'm the lucky winner of the Jake lottery. Yeah. Oh, but wait, it gets better. I've not even had a chance to correct him on the fact that he got my name wrong before he starts boasting about his job, his car, his gym routine. Basically the holy trinity of douchebaggery. I mean, talk about a one-man show starring Jake, directed by Jake, and produced by Jake. And just when I'm thinking, how the hell do I get out of this god-awful date? Who swoops in and saves the day? My saviour and amazing sister, Kate. Prince Charming had just gone back to the bar when I got a text. 3 words, red or green. This was something me and my sister started doing when we first started going on dates as a way to know if they needed rescuing from a bad date, if they were a red flag or a green flag. Now, unfortunately, it came in handy more times than we would have hoped. But, obviously, I text back red in capital letters, which is soon followed by a phone call, just as my lovely date sat back down. And now I apologise for answering the phone, and I'm ready to put on an Oscar-winning performance. Hello? What? No, you're kidding. No, of course. I'll come right over. No, don't worry, I'll be right there, okay? Okay, I love you, sis. Okay, I won't be long. Bye. I put the phone down, still waiting for my Oscar nomination, by the way. And I turn and I say, I'm so sorry. My nan's just been rushed to hospital with a liver attack. I've got to go. It was lovely meeting you. And I got up and I rushed off, still looking all panicked in case he's watching me leave. Of course, he doesn't seem bothered in the slightest. He just carried on drinking his drink. Well, I got back in my car and I spent the entire night relaying the story to my saviour, Kate. But don't get me wrong, this date was not my first experience with people turning up late. No, Kate definitely proved to be the queen of lateness throughout my entire childhood. Like seriously, last year, for her graduation, it's sunny outside, the birds are singing, the entire family is dressed to the nines, and getting along, a rare moment. Like, let me tell you, we're all excitedly waiting for this day ahead, and who is nowhere to be found? That's right, Kate. MIA. My dad is checking his watch every 5 seconds. My nan is texting away on her phone that's as old as she is. And I'm calling every single one of Kate's friends to find out if we've got the date wrong or the time wrong. And just as we're about to send out a damn search party for the woman, guess who rolls up? Kate. with the most nonchalant, carefree look plastered on her face. And the best bit, she blamed it on a wardrobe malfunction, as if she fell into Narnia whilst getting ready. But you see, that is the thing about Kate. No matter what, she's like a timekeeping expert. Always late, but never misses a beat. In a rather wired family, Kate is the perfect reminder that life's way too short to worry about the little things. Like punctuality. That must be Kate. She's early. She must have heard me talking and tried to prove me wrong. I'll be right back. Guess who's here? She's always just like to make an entrance. Okay. So this isn't exactly the family reunion you were expecting. And it's not the one I was hoping for either. You know, instead I'm terrified of change. Well, I would do anything to change this. But this is where we are. And, you know, we always thought we had more time to laugh, to argue, to share secrets, but that's the thing about time. It's like sand slipping through your fingers, leaving only memories behind, and you hold on as tight as you can to those memories when you can't make them anymore. So please treasure your time with your loved ones and enjoy every laugh, every tear, every shared silence, because in the end, it's those little moments that matter so much. Well, thank you for coming on this journey through my childhood with me. It's been about as chaotic as it was in real time, but if you will excuse me, I have one last adventure to take with Gale.
I took the supermarket fly.